I'm a sinking boat of pride deep in the sea of depression. Due to the things I have seen, keep up the instrumentals, no chains, no cliches. Born with bullets in the background, way after Black Hawk Down, I still had to put my belly down under the bed. My name is Bahdoon. I'm based in Minnesota. I'm a writer, I'm an actor, I'm a director, I'm a producer, I'm a host, The Bahdoon Show on YouTube. Assalamu alaikum, good evening, welcome to The Bahdoon Show. To The Bahdoon Show. The Bahdoon Show. To The Bahdoon Show, where your Somali put to the test, and I'm your host, aka Bahdoon. Okay, let's go.
بكيري هو علي يعني هو علي يعني بس هو علي
He retaliated him. Okay. Whoa, what has He knows once he passes, he won for his teammates. He's not even looking at them. I wrote and published, self-published the first Somali comic book in 2019. I have done plays at the History Theatre, Southern Theatre. Despite the struggle, people like me took a minute to smile. All we heard was bang bang and saw back confused as we screamed, is anyone out there? I'm just a baby, so help me tomorrow maybe. I came as a prepared immigrant with a little ABCs and nothing to lose. I was born in Somalia, grew up in South Africa. Living in South Africa was kind of strange because we were the first communities that moved there. There was a lack of representation. Forget about seeing Somali on TV, right? So for me, it was just the obsession of, I'm from the nation of poets, I write poetry. How come you guys don't know beyond that? And I guess I just went into soul searching, you know, searching about Somalia in art, searching art in Somalia. So it was just vice versa, one way or the other. But what fascinated me was the fact that I'm from the nation of poets, and I felt like there was no representation for us in the media, because poetry is almost everything, you know, that's art related, and that was what sparked my life. But sometime in 2011, that was my first rodeo with an auditioning or the whole acting process, and it has been the same ever since. See, at a young age when they raided Kismayo and we had to make our way to the outskirts of the city for safety, but the big trees couldn't provide safety as they came with their big guns of safety to steal the souls of men who came running for safety. For me, I always like action movies, you know, whatever action movie that I watched in that particular moment, like I wanted to be that good guy. But as I grew older, what stood up to me was some Somali entertainers who are trying to create in Somalia despite the civil war. The likes of Babu Maki Haji Banadiri, Ajax Allah Naharista, Jayte. Like for me, Mashallah Allah Naharista, you know, Jayte, Sirokal Allah Naharista. Watching all of those people for me was like fascinating. So I asked myself, how can I take all these jokes, you know, all this Somali greatness and take it to a stage where other people can understand it. So that's how the whole Bahdoon and everything came into place. So by the time I got to the US, like they say, I was fried, right? I was burnt out because I've been writing poetry since I was a teenager, and I didn't want to know, you know, if it was a safe route to take. And just like many other immigrant families or youth that come, you know, you just don't wake up one day and decide, oh, I'm gonna be an actor or I'm gonna be a writer. Because there's the whole doctor, engineer, lawyer, there's so many things to choose for, and this is not, you know, in the options. And most times I told my father, I said, hey dad, you know, I love this thing, I want to do this thing. And my father told me, as long as you know what you're doing and you know it's not beyond limits, go ahead. And I went and I auditioned for my first play in 2017.
Do you remember what that was?
Yeah, The Politics of the Day, Siyasat Manta. They came to kill, so they're not missing a generation high on qat, fed by qabil, funded by qabiyalat, forced into quhoti beyond qarah and qurba while killing the qalin lovers and also loving and protecting corrupted qabil leaders. So that was based on a Somali journey. It took place in Minneapolis, and I was lucky enough to actually play the lead role in my first ever project. So that was kind of exciting.
What was your second project?
The second play that I did was A Crack in the Sky, where I played the lead role Ahmed Ismail Yusuf, which was based on the true story of a Somali author based in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
how did you get into writing, you know, animation books? I know you had Lalo. Tell us about the inspiration behind that and how you got into it.
So when I was doing, you know, all of these theater and all of these acting things, I was always craving to see a Somali story that has nothing to do with immigration, that has nothing to do with civil war, that has nothing to do with needing to be saved. I wanted to create something that I never had, you know, for the next kids, my kids in the future. So I decided to create something completely fictional, something completely unexpected, so that Somali kids can dream beyond limitation. So that's how Lila was born in 2018. I decided that I wanted to do something that I can control, which can coexist and go on for as long as I want to within the Somali community. So Layla was born issue 1, and issue 2 is coming out sometime in 2022, so keep your eyes out for that. So Layla is not just actually a book. Layla is the first of many books. Layla is a chapter series that will probably go for the next 10 years, 15 years. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows, I don't. But the goal is to create a whole world around Layla. That's why we have Layla on hoodies, Layla on t-shirts, Layla on face masks, Layla on mugs. Basically Layla merch. Even your toddler, you know, we have something for that. So other than Layla, I have recently published Unwavering COVID and I, which is a joint collaboration with the Somali Health Board based in Seattle. That's how I ended up coming to Seattle for the 10th annual health fair, which took place on the 20th. So, but Layla is out, part 1 is out, part 2 Layla is coming out. We have the whole merchandise from mugs to pillows to sandals, and all of that is available on the Bahdoon website, bahdoonstore.com. That's the website. Right now, my second book came out actually yesterday. Somali Bridge was there to cover the event. It's called Unwavering COVID and I, which basically talks about the effect COVID brought, because as a Somali, you know, growing up, I'm used to physical touch. I'm used to big families, I'm used to big gathering. So for all of a sudden to, you know, to stay away from one another and not to see the elders and the elders not to see the kids, that was kind of challenging. So basically Awowe and I talks about what happened to a grandfather, his grandson, when COVID arrived. And it's actually part 2 for that book, which will come out within the next 4 months. To be honest with you, there's not a single challenge, or you know, there's not 20 challenges. There's a challenge every day that you wake up in this field. Being a Somali, you can imagine it's even tougher because there's not a lot of professionals in this market that will just hold your hand and walk you through the door. It was tough, but the only way I overcame that was I knew my value. So, you know, I was never really bothered about anyone's opinion. I was never concerned about being left out, you know, whether it's an event or, you know, crowd, because it gets lonely. Sometimes the creating process is so lonely. And I made sure that I was alone, but never lonely. I used my art as my companion. I focused on that, and I made sure that I stand out, not because I'm everywhere that, you know, people go, but I want to stand out because my creativity is everywhere that people want to be. So my advice, you know, to any young Somali brother or sister that wants to go out there and be creative, like, please, you know, be mentally prepared that it's going to be a lonely road, because in the senses of a lot of people don't believe that. And when I listen to the elders, I understand why they might not believe in it, but the best way that you can succeed is make sure that, you know, your creativity is honest and true. Make sure that you respect your culture and your elders. Make sure that what you're doing is not pissing off, you know, the generation that came before you. And I say that to say because I'm a Muslim at the end of the day. Alhamdulillah, that will mean anything to me. And the reason why I actually started writing was, as an actor, when people contact me, you know, they don't inquire about my religion. You know, they don't say, oh, hey, Mohamed, are you a Muslim? You know, no, they don't. If my character is, you know, supposed to get, you know, to put their hands on the opposite, they don't really care. And things like that is what really made me consider to start Bahdoon Entertainment. So the stories, the books and everything can be Islamically monitored and tailored towards our kids and the next generation. So the future is very exciting, to be honest with you. I just came back from Somalia 4 months ago. and I specifically went to Somali to go recharge, myself culturally, mentally, spiritually, religiously, basically in every aspect that that I can represent my people. So Bahdoon has exciting things. There is a Bahdoon show. We have the trailer on YouTube, which is the first Somali game show, created for language, for the kids. Layla Issue 2 is coming out. We have Community Champions, which will be out within the next 4 or 5 months. There is the Adventures of Nim'an, which is set for release. Now the goal is to make sure that Nim'an gets released by August of 2023, and then the first episode of Layla in 2023 December, God willing, inshallah.
Would you have Al-Fannan Nim'an tech part in that? Create songs for it, maybe?
Yeah, look, I would love to, to have, can I say something now that you said that?
Yeah.
And this is for Somali creators. We need to come together, we need to have musicians doing music together. We need producers producing together. We need directors directing together, because a lot of times you can't go anywhere by yourself. Today I'm a writer. I don't know how to operate a camera. I know nothing about voice. Don't you think it will be damaging if I stand up and say I can do this, I can do this, I can do that? I would love to have Nim'an on Layla. I would love to have Sultan, Kabayare, Hoy Hibanura, Baba Maka Haji Benadira Hatta Hadi Odkiis inta ugu soo qayb gali rabo. I would love to have everybody oo maanta Soomaaliya dhaqankeeda mise luqadeeda kor inuu qaado rabo inuu ila collaborate gareeyo. But looks like we long way from that. But Nim'an oo Layla hees oo qorwa lagu sugaya inshallah. So you can find me on IG at I am Bahdoon. You can find me on Facebook, Mohamed Haji Ahmed. The website is thebahdoonstore.com. On that website you can buy everything. You can buy for your kid, tote bag for the wife, for the daughter, sandals for the son. You can catch me on Twitter also at I am Bahdoon. If you have any question, if you want to reach out, if you want to leave a positive message, whatever it is, I would like to thank Somali Bridge for having me, for making this interview happen. I would love to pass my gratitude to the Somali Health Board of Seattle for allowing me to come here, for making our COVID-19 possible to happen. I'm so grateful for every person that ever supported me, whether it's through social media, whether you left a comment, whether you left a like. I just want you to know that I'm growing because of you, and I will always be grateful for people like you. Assalamu alaikum.